Thanks for coming. My name is Carolyn. I'll be moderating the panel today. I'm the affiliate manager over at Groupon. We do have one panelist who is currently missing. His name is Rob. So when you see him come up to this table, be sure to give him hell.
That's right. Where is this guy?
I don't know where he is. All right, so the point of the session...
Does someone want to take his seat?
Yeah, if any of you guys want to come up here and fill in that.
Anybody know the space really well? Yeah, I don't... Get that feedback loop fixed.
So the point of this session is really to take a look at the daily deals industry and how it's growing. There's a lot of misconceptions out there about whether or not it's tapering off. Is it just a fad? Is it a trend? Or is it something that's really here to stay? Is it a new model? So according to a recent study that came out of Rice University, it actually shows that any time that a company runs a deal, any daily deal sites, it's not necessarily a Groupon, it could be any of the daily deal sites, they took a look at all of them, about 80% of the people who come in from that deal are going to be new customers. And then for small to medium-sized businesses, the retention rate's about 41%. And for larger businesses that already have an established base, the retention rate's about 15%.
Is there anything we can do about the feedback? Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to introduce our panelists, and then we'll go in to some prepared questions that we have, and then we'd love to open it up and take some questions and suggestions from you guys. So my very far left is Carrie Rocha. She's a full-time blogger, and she shares money saving and personal finance tips at pocketyourdollars.com. She is actually a full-time blogger. She went full-time. She started off her site, and then 10 months later was able to quit her job and focus on this effort full-time. Along with her online presence, she's been featured in the Wall Street Journal, Radio, Yahoo Finance, and Fox Business. She also teaches financial wellness courses for employees at companies like General Mills, Cargill, and Target. So that's Carrie. Next to Carrie is Peter Hamilton. He is a partner and CMO at HasOffers, which is a tracking platform for affiliates. They provide the tracking and reconciliation for over 75 affiliate programs for daily deal sites, including Living Social, Saveology, Tipper, Deal Nation, and many more. So in November of last year, HasOffers began supporting CPI and CPA programs for mobile apps. So if you're in the mobile industry, definitely take a look at them. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Running daily deals is very different from running your standard e-commerce deals. Everything's very different. You've got limited inventory. Everything's running for a limited amount of time. Margins are very different. What are some things that retailers can do to actually help their affiliates promote these daily deals?
Well, I'll start. I think one of the things I want to say right up front is I really see daily deals as there's a couple of different kinds. There are daily deals run through a site like Groupon or Living Social where I think of them like you're dealing with two different merchants, because Groupon has a merchant that they're advertising, and as an affiliate, I'm promoting Groupon and I'm getting paid by Groupon. But my customer who's buying that Groupon is actually going to have their experience with a different merchant. Follow what I'm saying? So you can imagine that there's opportunity right in that mix for confusion, particularly for a blogger where my people are coming to my site, my readers who are loyal to me. And so when they have an issue, do they deal with me? Do they deal with Groupon? Do they deal with the merchant themselves? So in terms of what can retailers do, there's a couple of things. One, deliver on your promise. I mean, that's pretty simple, and that would eliminate a lot of problems. But then provide really good customer service and recognize that there is opportunity for confusion because there are more players in the mix than there is in kind of a standard transaction. When you buy a book on Amazon, you're just dealing with Amazon. That's really easy to understand. And so recognizing that and providing the service and informing people. And then the other thing I would say, if you're a Groupon or Living Social type of experience, is that they would vet their merchants. Because I've had numerous times where I've promoted something and the people who come to my site and actually buy have a bad experience because the daily deal site themselves didn't vet the merchant or the merchandise. So that's my 2 cents about that.
Yeah, I mean, from our side, from the tracking perspective, and by the way, anything that I say is, somewhat aggregate across lots of different programs, and not necessarily, I'm not going to be giving away any secret sauce of any of those people, obviously. But what we see is making sure that, the loop is closed on all of the tracking pieces of it so that people are getting credit for what they actually produced. And part of that is also geo-targeting really well to make sure that the deals that are showing up on their sites are the proper ones, maybe even running some scripts to make sure that that actually occurs on a regular basis. And especially, when affiliates are placing banners across thousands of sites, they may not be checking all of that themselves, and you're probably missing out on a lot of opportunity there. Also, being very quick to reward good behavior to affiliates. As soon as that you've seen that they've had some great conversions, start to not only look at payouts, but look at more interesting offers, more provocative banners, anything that might provide value to them. And just to be really sensitive to, once you see, some volume of traffic coming through, be sensitive to what kind of traffic that really is. What is the user's buying intent?
So Peter, you'd probably have a good answer for this. Running daily deals aren't necessarily restricted to daily deal sites. You have different retailers who might, I'm going to sit down over here and use this one. You have different retailers who might consider running daily deals all on their own. Hey, there we go, thank you. Okay, so the question was, there are daily deal sites out there like Groupon and Living Social and such, but there are also retailers who might run daily deals on their own. What type of retailers would be good to run a daily deal?
Well, we definitely see a lot of folks coming in, obviously in dining, clothes and fashion is a big part of that. Entertainment, if there's some sort of advertiser that has some kind of entertainment package that is maybe not just local specific, that could actually be a broader deal. What we see in terms of like a lot of the smaller deal companies popping up is definitely around, wine, cigars, something that's consumable, also kind of as seen on TV style products, things that, have a very simple offering, and it's very easy to give some sort of discount that's going to back out to a margin that makes sense. And we've seen some be really successful at that. We've even seen like a wine club style company turn it into a daily deal and had lots of affiliates promote it, and their wine is now recognized, around the country. So it's an interesting thing for retailer to approach, because it obviously there's going to be a margin issue that they need to be thinking about. But there's such a huge opportunity for just getting eyeballs, getting, those early adopters, getting people excited about the brand. So if it's something, that can have that innate sort of brand awareness, which, obviously, liquors and wines and, clothing and fashion, that sort of thing is very, very great for that. Then you can create a huge following through daily deals.
Cool. Carrie, how about for you? What do your readers look at when they're looking for daily deals?
They're looking for a few things. One, they really want a competitive offer. I mean, you have to remember that sometimes I think as marketers, we can think that if we tell them something, that people are just going to buy that. I mean, that's not true. People are savvy, and they will look and they will confirm, is this really a good value? And not all daily deals are. And recognizing some, to local restaurants and things may prove to be really good deals, but there's an increasing number of products, kitchen pan sets and, cubic zirconia earrings and all these different products that are being promoted through the daily deal channel. And they're not all fabulous buys. And so people who are coming to my site really want to know, if I'm mentioning something, they want to know that it's actually a deal that's worth their time. As the space has gotten more crowded, there's certainly more noise where that's concerned.
Yeah, and the site that's offering the daily deal, really needs to approach the affiliate in a way that's, makes them see that value really quickly. And sometimes they might offer them like a CPM deal instead at the beginning, to get them to actually show something, and it provides a lot of trust with the affiliate early on, and they can see, hey, I'm getting paid something for my traffic. It's not just going completely out the door. And now I also see that I am driving conversions. And if I switch to this other payment model, I'm going to make some real money. So we've definitely seen some deal sites have a lot of success doing that.
And at the same time, if you were going to launch anything like that, make sure you can deliver. I've also been burned by some of the small new daily deal sites that have offered, it didn't even seem like too good to be true sorts of payouts, but they were really popular, maybe went a little too viral, and all of a sudden they sort of like Ponzi schemed themselves out of business because, they didn't have enough new business coming in to make payments to everybody, and they folded. So you want to, as an affiliate, you also want to be vetting some of that stuff yourself and make sure that you really are checking and confirming. I'm more conservative in general, so I'm not usually the first adopter, and I'm not willing to be the first one to run out and promote because nobody knows if they're really going to deliver. Nobody knows if you're really going to get paid. And so I like to wait just a little bit to confirm that some of that's really going to happen.
Well, and I'd like to say it's a huge value prop for companies like Groupon and Living Social that have vetted a lot of these retailers ahead of time, and you're going to get paid something regardless, even if something happens with the retailer and they don't follow through. So a lot of affiliates definitely start by testing out with these larger programs as well.
Mm-hmm. Great. So we've discussed kind of the challenges of working with daily deal sites, but what are the benefits, Carrie? Why do you like to explore this industry?
Well, I'm a blogger, so my site is full of content, right? I write real articles about daily deal sites with my own 2 cents about what I think are good ideas or how people might use a daily deal. And guess what? I get new content every day, and it reminds me, if anybody's familiar with Coastal Contacts, I think they changed their name now, but about a year ago, they ran a whole bunch of we're giving away 10,000 free pairs of glasses. And they did this promotion once a week or once a month for a while, and it was awesome, and I would promote it. And then they switched, whoever comes, they get a first pair free of glasses sort of for an unlimited duration. And then they emailed me and said, well, why aren't you promoting that as much? Well, it's an ongoing promotion. I can't every 2 days post, write another blog post about that. There's nothing newsworthy about that. And so daily deal sites really lend themselves to having something new and fresh so I can talk about it with frequency again and again, and it gives me something to write about. And then I also think the space is really, really noisy. And so I think there's good opportunity to provide real value to people who are searching the internet. Yeah, some folks are just kind of moshing together the data feeds, and that's a certain amount of value. But if you're willing to put any amount of time and effort into being a curator of this information, I think you can really become a go-to place where people will come to look at you for which daily deal sites are trustworthy, which ones aren't, which merchants should I be doing. Some merchants run offers on all the daily deal channels at different price points. And if you kind of are aware of that and can inform people, they will buy from you through your affiliate links.
I think that freshness factor is pretty vital to the space in general. I was actually, how does Groupon sort of look at that and deal with it? I'm going to just point one right back to the moderator over here. She's sitting down with us, so it's fair play, right?
I think, for Groupon, we've actually tried a number of different things to try and get quality content over to the affiliates. One of the things we're exploring now is we have a lot of retailers that we work with, and we reserve some inventory. So even if something gets sold out, we will have some inventory in reserve. So let's take those cubic zirconia earrings, for example. If I'm working with a couple of bloggers and I know that they have a primarily female demographic, I can actually create an exclusive Groupon for them to go ahead and promote. So it helps from the affiliate manager side to kind of have an understanding of what does well for you guys, what you're looking for.
And one of the other things I've really appreciated about the daily deal sites is I live in Minneapolis, and certainly I have readership across the country, but I have a certain amount of my following that's local, and I've been able to monetize offers or coupons that were not monetizable before because there's local restaurants and local places. And so as I go out to our favorite pizza place or things like that, I can talk to some of those business owners that I know just in my daily life and kind of push them back. Hey, if you run a Groupon, I will give you exposure to that because it's a brand I really genuinely love. And so you might want to think about that if you're an affiliate and you have some kind of local following of any of any type to get brands you really use in real life on board, and you can monetize that traffic.
Yeah, and you know, one of the challenges of doing that with the retailer directly is they don't have the systems in place to kind of track the traffic or to give you the rev share. So Groupon in that sense, or any daily deal site will kind of offer as a function as a platform for you. So I mean, that's definitely something we're open to. So what about, and if you throw this back on me, man, I'm not buying you a drink. What about some of the mistakes that are out there that daily deal retailers make or that affiliates make when dealing with daily deals?
Well, I think she touched on some of them earlier. I mean, the delivery aspect is extremely important. I think there are, and we do see that a lot. We see these sites rise and fall. We consistently have, about 75 companies, daily deal sites using us for their affiliate programs, and it continues to grow over time, which is something good, by the way. Daily deals are still alive and kicking, and they continue to grow. I think last year we were averaging more like 35 sites, daily deals, sites running full programs, that sort of thing. But yeah, you'll see them rise and fall and get squashed really quickly. And I think, you've got to have a personal relationship with a site that's newer or that has a newer offer. You need to know these people a little bit. It's just like, the age-old part of affiliate marketing where, you need to know, have, put a face with the name and have a handshake and have a real relationship. Don't just start, running the offer without any understanding of their background or, where they come from.
I mean, I think that's one of the biggest challenges that I have managing the Groupon affiliate program is we have so many offers running in so many different marketplaces. It's hard to actually match the correct offer with the correct affiliate. But once you actually get that piece of the equation down, I mean, it's just gangbusters. I don't know, Carrie?
Well, and if you are going to offer any sort of daily deal site or even work with them, I mean, to me, one of my first screening things has to do with customer service. For instance, Groupon has, their statement, if you don't like one of our Groupons for some reason, or you change your mind after you buy it, just let us know, no questions asked, we'll return your money. Well, for me, I'm much more willing to promote that because I really know that there's a real guarantee for my people. Yeah, there can be reversals or whatever. I think with Groupon, I still get paid, but in other cases, I might not, but my people, my readers, who are the people I care about, and I have built this trusting relationship with, I know that they're going to be taken care of. I mean, within the last week, I just got an email from someone, and if you're techie, you might not think this is an issue, but she was like, I saw on your site a few weeks ago, in fact, it was earrings, and I still haven't gotten them, and so I'm wondering what's going on. So I go back and find what I wrote about, and I said, well, you bought the certificate here, now you have to go to this other site to actually redeem it, right? Because you get a code and you have to go somewhere else. She didn't understand that, and she was concerned. Sure, she felt secure putting in her credit card information and her personal information on the Daily Deal site, but she just didn't feel as comfortable on this merchant site. So she wanted me to go look at it, confirm that it was really safe and secure for her because she was nervous about it. So one, she didn't even quite get how this worked, and she was nervous about where she would be putting in her information. So I spend a fair amount of time before I share any sort of daily deal looking at that, reading the fine print, any exclusions, shipping information, all of that to try and put that out there for people as my part of a value add.
Another big mistake, I think, happens with media buyers that are just funneling traffic over to daily deal sites. Maybe they start to see some great conversions, but in this high touch situation, you're able to see like the user problems and all that sort of thing, and you'll very quickly, it's a very quick and slippery slope into providing fraudulent traffic and people that are and as well as getting into really confused individuals that are charging back on whoever the daily deal site or on the retailer themselves. So it's I think Groupon has to deal with this a lot with media buyers trying to understand really where is this traffic coming from, So if you're wanting to get into it as a space, as an affiliate, you need to have a fairly high touch on, on what it is that you're, who these people are that you're sending through the funnel.
So how many of you guys here are affiliates? Okay, so I just wanted to kind of see how to tailor the questions now.
Merchants? Okay.
How many of you run on Groupon? Perfect.
All right, lots of leads for Groupon today.
Can I say something kind of directed toward the merchants? I would think as a blogger, just like any other affiliate, I get a lot of email. But one of the things that helps from a merchant perspective, if you're either running some sort of daily deal on your site or you're running a daily deal site itself, is to do as much of the work for me as you can. And that would mean, in some cases, I'll get almost pre-written blog posts. It's not that I would ever copy that exactly, but it will give me some language around maybe some key talking points, and I can modify it into my voice about why this is a good deal or what the benefits of the product are to the audience, as well as, I think in any affiliate situation, links exactly to the right banners and those kinds of things to help, because there is so much, there's so many voices and so much clamoring for the attention of a blogger, but then this stuff is time limited. So, you need to, if you email me today and I'm getting all these emails, I need it to be easy to do because I don't have a lot of time to turn something around. It really needs to be quick. So think always about how you can how can you package your offers in a way that make it really, really easy for affiliates to get the information online.
Also, from the retailer point of view, I know that there's a lot of concern on merchants' behalf on whether or not to offer coupons. The question is, well, am I only attracting my existing customers? Am I only attracting people that I think are that would have purchased from us anyway? So I guess the question here is, do coupon sites actually add value to an affiliate program?
I definitely see coupon sites and daily deals as two different demographics, I guess. You've got people that are just coupon fiends and looking for any kind of deal, and there are many, many sites devoted to this. You look at some businesses there are some great businesses that have built, empires out of this. Coupons.com has done a really great job of that. And people go into their app, they go onto their site, and they just spend time, finding basically like people used to do with newspaper, or still do with newspaper clippings. and so I think you just have to realize that that's the kind of user that you're dealing with, and if that makes sense for whatever product it is that you're selling, then you have the right margin on it, then it makes sense. It's not going to be a big brand play. It's not going to get in front of a lot of influencer style eyeballs, which is why Groupon is like, was so caught like wildfire and grew so quickly, is because not only were these people excited about the deal and getting involved with it, but they were all sharing it in their social media, and these were like people that other people follow. So yeah, if you're okay with that user quality being maybe it's not quality, just a different type of user on the coupon site, then it's definitely something you should explore. I noticed the other day I downloaded coupons.com, their app, and they actually have a little page that has local deals right now, which looks a whole lot like a Groupon kind of a thing, right? So they're dabbling with daily deal inventory sort of at the same time. So there is some correlation to those users. They're already looking for deals. Well, why not some daily deals as well? But I'd say, in general, daily deals goes much farther than that. You're offering higher end products oftentimes. These products are, recognizable. People have seen them somewhere before. They're excited about them just because of the brand name or whatever that is. And they're much farther reaching in terms of connecting to these influencers that spend lots of time on the social web.
One of the things I've noticed, in particular in the photo space, photo books, photo products, but I guess it probably happens elsewhere as well, is since this daily deal phenomenon has really picked up, I've noticed a change in the offers that they're running through their coupon channel. And so I don't know how much I'm sure they're looking at different numbers, but I guess a different perspective on the question, sort of coupons versus daily deal sites, is thinking about not just the conversions and those sorts of things in the here and now, but kind of the long-term types of customers you're looking to get. And there were I used to write some dedicated blog posts to certain brands and almost like reviewing different products. And now I haven't been doing that because they're running through a different channel. My margins are different on those products, and it's a little more competitive in the photo book space in the daily deal site. And so just kind of a point of observation that I don't think they have to be mutually exclusive, and that there's probably a place for both. And I've seen some merchants maybe kind of go in one ditch or kind of in the other.
So I guess, in most affiliate programs, I can kind of summarize by saying this is what I've seen. In affiliate programs that I manage, I think that there's a place for every type of affiliate. So there is a place for coupon affiliates, and there is a place for your bloggers, and there is a place for search, and there is a place for your email marketers. It's a matter of understanding how each of those different marketing channels functions and understanding what kind of consumers are coming in from them. Are you getting a lot of new consumers? Are you getting a lot of repeat visitors? Of those repeat visitors, if you're working with an incentive site, are the visitors that are driven by an incentive site, are they spending more money? Are they purchasing more frequently? What is it about the visitor what is it about the incentive site that's actually adding value? So I definitely think that in any affiliate program, you should have a mix of different types of affiliates and not be overly dependent on any one sector.
I'd like to add to that. There's this makes me think about something that's happening in mobile right now. I talked to you about this a little bit earlier, but there's lots of this incentivized traffic for mobile apps. I don't know if who here is kind of involved with that. Driving traffic to get mobile app installs. You've got Tapjoy offer walls. How many of you have actually been on a Tapjoy offer wall on your mobile device? Anybody? No? Nobody? Do you guys play games or anything? What do you do with your time? Hang out with your families and go on vacation? That's crazy. I obviously don't do those things. But the idea is, maybe that inventory, the offer wall inventory is not really high quality, but it maybe is driving some installs. Well, what if that offer wall was not just, hey, install the Expedia app or install the Groupon app, but also if they go in the app and purchase something, then we're going to give them out a CPA deal. So this idea of re-engagement into an app is sort of catching on really big with big retailers, but I definitely see it as a place in the daily deals sites where, if I were to drive traffic to Groupon, on my mobile traffic to their mobile app and get paid on a CPA of, the actual rev share that came from that'd be pretty valuable. And I think Groupon would probably pay for that all day long. Yeah. She's like, maybe.
You know where I am. So how about, what kind of conversion rates do you see across these daily deal sites? Is it typically higher than you would see at a standard e-commerce retailer, or?
Do you?
I don't know.
Okay. We see a little bit. It really varies, obviously, based on what kinds of traffic that people are buying. On the media side, we've seen really excellent conversion rates. People getting above 15% even. The click-through rate is the kind of the more interesting one, I think, because once you've got them into the funnel, they either have the intent or they don't. It's not like I clicked on this ad not knowing that it was going to get me to buy this product. Hopefully not anyway. Mm-hmm. So if that experience is right, you're going to have some pretty decent conversion rates. You see the click-through rates varying from about 3% to 7%, so that's pretty good. I don't know what kind of click-through rates are you, maybe you don't want to tell everyone off the top of your head, but
right. Well, I know. Maybe I'll answer this a little bit differently, but for me, I like the recognizable brands, and they do really, really, really well. And so, what was it, within the last month or 6 weeks, Reebok ran a Groupon. Okay, yeah, that was really good for me. I really liked that Groupon because everybody knew Reebok. I didn't have to sell that. I just had to let them know that it was there because I've trained my people. They don't even have to look I will tell them what the good daily deals are. And so when there's something like that that comes to me, you're like serving it on a silver platter to me to just give people, because they'll buy it without any kind of coaxing.
The craziest one that we had a little while ago, you might have remembered the 5 for 10 on Living Social at Amazon.
Yeah.
That deal right for you?
Yeah, that did all right.
Their servers actually crashed on that one, Amazon's, and we stayed going. How about that? Even though they should have been on their own cloud, which was the problem, because that's what we use. But yeah, it's that you get a deal like that can just go hot, then affiliates going to get really excited about that.
Well, I think one of the things too, it's like if you are a brand, I think one of Reebok's reasons for running that Groupon is when you think of buying Reebok, you're mostly probably in an athletic apparel store. If you're looking for a pair of tennis shoes, you don't immediately go to Reebok.com. You probably will go to Zappos or to a run store or something like that. So I think that's what the benefit was for them. We've got a lot of manufacturers who are actually trying to reach out to consumers to get them to interact with brands. Last year we tested with General Mills, where General Mills put together a package of current, very popular cereals, and then threw in some new products as well, and then offered it out to consumers to purchase it as a bundle, and that worked out really well. So I think the Daily Deal channel is very good for manufacturers who may not have that online experience or the online exposure immediately.
And for some of those, like the 5, off 10, or the 5 for $10 at Amazon or the Reebok kinds of things, if you're going to be running any type of deal that you think could be really hot, have your small list of kind of your preferred affiliates and make sure that they get information in advance. Because remember, this stuff is time limited and it's quantity limited, so it will sell out. And there's nothing more frustrating to me. It'll be like, I live in the central time zone. It's like 11 o'clock in the morning, and I get an email from a program manager with today's daily deals. I'm like, where part of the world are you in? It's lunchtime here. Like, I'm done thinking about today's daily deals. I need that yesterday, or I need it in my inbox by 6 in the morning. I'm up and working before my kids are up, and I got to get them off to school, looking at this stuff and kind of figuring out what I'm going to promote through my social channels. So if you're going to play in this space, always keep in mind the time limited part means you have to be ahead of the game on your communication.
And I had a question for you guys about, slightly off topic, but the idea of using the word daily deals with a consumer, or using some other, phraseology. If the banner just says, 20% off of whatever, are people going to look at it and be a little bit more skeptical, or thinking, oh, this is a free iPad deal, one of those things I don't want to deal with? What is the jargon that you use in the banner really important, or how do you? I
actually don't run a lot of banners in mine because I'm doing a blog, so I will post photos or images of the actual products that are being sold, unless it's like Reebok. I might post their logo or something, and I'm a Reebok affiliate, and I would get that. So I haven't tested out different, like Groupon banners in places on my.
And you specifically sort of go, oh, and it just so happens that today they're having a daily deal for this, and you sort of spell it out in plain English.
Right, exactly. So I'll spell it out and then read through all the fine print. And the other thing that I do from an affiliate perspective is you might see a site like, I don't know, Baby Age, or I don't know, pick any site that'll run, $10 for $20 worth of merchandise. But that seems very abstract to me, because what can that buy me? So I will translate it into, if you buy this, this is, the amount of diapers you could get, or if it was at a wine store or something. I mean, putting it into context of what products can you end up with if you were to buy this. And I see huge increases in conversion when I do that work for the consumer, because they know then what they're going to be getting at the end of the day.
I can actually. So we as I mentioned before, there's different segments of affiliates, and each segment has different needs. So with Carrie, we need to be able to provide her with a lot of content. One of the other tools we created for bloggers is the ability, we recognize that bloggers don't have a lot of time on their hands, and all their focus is on creating content quickly. So we created a tool where when they're on our site and they see a deal that they like, they can immediately create a tracking link and send it to WordPress or send it to Twitter or send it to Facebook without having to log into, we're on Commission Junction, without having to log into their affiliate account. We find that if an affiliate, there's a lot of times where we can promote a deal to affiliates, but that deal may not be relevant to their audience. They know their audience best. They know what deals convert best. If they see something on the site they want to convert, they'll automatically be able to do that without us having to help them out at all. So that's been a phenomenal tool to use. But in terms of banners, we don't use necessarily daily deal terminology on our banners. The highest converting banner that we have is actually a widget. And what it does is you stick this piece of code on your site, it automatically detects where your visitor is from and shows whatever deal is relevant to the visitor based on their location. But instead of saying that it's a daily deal, we actually put a countdown clock on it, so it still creates that same, it's Marketing 101, it creates that same sense of urgency. And then we'll also have a limited quantity, and so you'll see the quantity count as well. And so because of that, what our focus is on is not on saying, this is a daily deal. Our focus is on saying, here is a deal for you based on where you are. So it's more about the relevancy than anything else.
That's cool.
I think so. All right, so just out of curiosity, Carrie, what was the most recent daily deal that you bought?
The Reebok one that I was just talking about. I was looking at that yesterday. I'm like, I better get that used.
I bought a helicopter ride in Seattle, which was pretty incredible. If you're ever in Seattle, try to find that daily deal because it goes out all the way to Snoqualmie Falls, comes back in, circles the Space Needle, wave at people. And so, yeah, I took my girlfriend on a helicopter ride for like nothing. It was awesome.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, actually, I think the last daily deal I bought was for a mani-pedi, so it's not really all that exciting. But it shows, just in my own personal experience as a consumer, the daily deal sites have worked for me. I took my husband got me a sewing machine for my birthday, and before you say anything, I actually asked for that. I wanted that. He's not expecting me to make him clothes. So there was a Groupon for a sewing class, and I went and I took the class, and it's probably 12 miles away from my house, so it's a little bit outside of the neighborhood where I usually traverse on the weekends. Since taking that first class, I've gone back for 4 more classes. Every time I go there, I drop at least $50 to $60 on either materials or new fabrics, and I've actually developed a really great relationship with the owner of the store. So I am actually my own perfect example of becoming a Groupon user, becoming a repeat customer. And this has happened to me before. The merchants who run a daily deal, the ones who are successful, are the ones who know how to take that new traffic and convert them into loyal users. So I got a massage at a spa that I had never been to before. When I redeemed my Groupon, I was able to book an appointment online, and immediately when I was booking an appointment, they upsold me and said, "Hey, if you want to spend another $75, we'll give you a 30-minute massage, a 30-minute facial, and a 30-minute foot reflexology thing." So
The helicopter people did that to me too.
Oh, it was amazing.
I upgraded.
I totally upgraded. They got me. And then when I walked in the door, they handed me a frequent visitor that gave me 25% off of my next visit.
Yeah.
So by purchasing one Groupon, they actually managed to upsell me twice. I'd gone in on the second visit, and then I think I went back again for a third visit. On the third visit, it happened to be January, and they were doing packages. So they offered me a package where you could get 12 massages for $40 a piece. So now they've completely cut Groupon out of the equation. Groupon was the one who brought me to them in the first place, but all of my subsequent visits have been a result of their marketing efforts and not because of Groupon. So I think the strength of a daily deal site is that it can drive you traffic, but once you have that traffic, you need to know how to convert it yourself and make that customer yours.
And I think there's a really powerful point there for merchants that you should really invest heavily in analytics to understand, who of that returning traffic came from Groupon. I would even guess that in this scenario, they're not even totally sure, how much of that is return business just from Groupon. Maybe they've got a little flag in a CRM. If they have a CRM, maybe they don't. I don't know. But, there's this re-engagement style, marketing can be explosive for you. And if you know that, this deal worked out perfectly for you, and it also made this many repeat customers, then you know that you've created a formula, and now you can follow that over and over again. So yeah, I can't say enough, how much you need to figure out, how am I going to actually track this stuff and make sure that I know this person, 6 months ago came from Groupon.
Yeah, definitely. And that's probably something that you find it's hard to see. For small to medium-sized businesses, they may not have the extensive CRM resources out there, but I mean, there are ways where you can track, maybe you can tie it to account sign-up. So if somebody comes in, you have them sign up for an account, give them $5 off their next visit, but then, you know, everybody who's holding that $5 off your next visit came in from Groupon. So there's even, I mean, there's offline ways where you can track that repeat business. So can you give us an idea, like, can you look into your crystal ball and kind of tell us where do you see the daily deal industry kind of going and growing?
Well, one of the things that I've really seen is, at least in the Minneapolis area where I'm from, you know, some of the smaller daily deal sites have folded, and that has been just fine by me because kind of, you know, maybe a little bit of the less reputable and those sorts of things. So just like anything, you know, lots of people getting into the space, but I think, you know, some of the smaller or shadier folks kind of fall by the wayside, and you end up with a core set of merchants that are doing business. So that's one of the things that I would imagine. But this is a marketing model that is here to stay. It works. I mean, it draws on that time limited, quantity limited, that gets people to buy. And I can't imagine us going back to an era where we're not talking about hurry, hurry, go, 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 buy now. So I think it's here, and whether you're an affiliate or a merchant, you need to be thinking about how to integrate and create that kind of buying urgency in what you're doing.
There's certainly been an impact on daily deals from the solo-mo effect, social, local, mobile. Everyone's talking about proximity right now, and knowing that there is a deal nearby is extremely valuable. I think as technology improves on both our mobile devices, and even as we use more heads-up style technologies like Google Glass, proximity is going to play an even larger role. You know, I'm walking by a cafe, and you know, Google Glass knows that, you know, I haven't had dinner, I haven't had lunch yet today, and I usually have lunch by 1 o'clock, and it's like, oh, there's a daily deal right here, I can get it for 40% off, and then, yes, I want to do that, and I just walk right in and have a deal. You know, maybe that's a little scary for some people, but I do think the contextual web very much lends itself to deals that are happening now, things that are current, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think from my point of view, kind of from what I've seen, definitely there's going to be global expansion. Our markets in Brazil are very strong, and it's really interesting because my initial reaction was not every single culture is going to take to these discounts, but apparently that's not the case. There's definitely a global market out there where people are excited. The whole concept behind offering a daily deal, at least from Groupon's standpoint, was to get people out of their homes and trying new things within their neighborhood, and that whole exploration idea. So originally it wasn't as much about the discount as it was about the exploration, and maybe now it's kind of evolved into treating yourself to something. So I think that daily deal sites are definitely going to go global. And the other piece I think that's important is being able to match up the right deal with the right person. So I mentioned before that we're able to match up a deal based on a person's geography. But the next step is actually to match it up based on not only geography, but also context. So it's either the context of the page, the context of the physical situation, the context of the time of day. And once we're able to actually personalize this and deliver the offer to the person exactly at the right time, and maybe it's not an offer available for everybody, but maybe it's an offer for that one individual based on our knowledge of their previous behavior or their current behavior. I kind of think that that's where the entire deal industry is going. And so with that, we're actually going to go ahead and take questions. So if you'd like, you can use the microphone in the center. If not, I'll just repeat the question for you.
Maybe I can speak up.
Yeah, that works.
This way,
Yeah.
Caroline. So if you use an affiliate network or affiliate directly, you actually give away some of the control that the A market is put in Groupon. So how do you make sure that this nice Reebok deal, that Reebok is very protective about their brand and Jumfeld beers, how do you make sure of that?
Sorry. I'll direct that question over here.
Yeah, Rob will take that. So the question was, how do you ensure, if you're a retailer, how do you ensure that the right affiliates are promoting your offer? Is that fair restatement? I think with us,
And then it's being promoted properly.
correct,
Yeah.
yeah. We're actually very particular about the affiliates that we let into our program, and we work very closely with them to make sure that the right message is being conveyed. If it's a deal like Reebok, for example, we aren't going to tell our affiliates until we absolutely know 100% for sure that it's running, and then we actually provide the creative, and as the deal comes in, we can track where the traffic is coming from and how valuable that traffic is. So if it comes from an affiliate where they're just driving us a lot of traffic and not a lot of conversions, or somebody who's trying to game the system, we can usually spot that pretty quick. And then we know, well, the quality of the quality of traffic being driven by that affiliate is not particularly valuable, so we can kind of move their relationship off our plate.
There are also lots of third-party services that, you know, take snapshots of those pages, allow you to look at them after the fact, and that's really helpful when you're looking at conversion data and mapping it to, you know, this is what those people are seeing, and now this is where they're landing. Brand Verity is a great one that those guys are hanging around here a little bit, and but there's hundreds of those kinds of services now. Some have a broader reach than others in terms of how much they crawl and how fast, all that sort of thing. But it's definitely a way to kind of manage that and understand how is the brand really being represented. And, you know, that's a similar thing to any retailer working with affiliates. You know, there needs to be a level and a layer of trust that develops between them and the publisher. The publisher has to be really forthcoming with the domains they're using, where they're buying the traffic, that sort of thing. So at any point in time, you know, the daily deal provider, whoever it is, a retailer can just hop in and go look, you know, what's going on that page, where it's coming from. You know, platforms like HasOffers, you know, do provide, you know, referral URL and things like that automatically usually. So you can follow the chain up that way and say, I got a conversion. What page did it come from? I'll go look at it and be like, oh, that doesn't look so great. It said 40 or 90, you know, percent coupon. So yeah, it's just something, it does take it is slightly high touch. You got to spend some time getting to know these guys and looking at where the traffic's coming from. And when it spikes, go find out why. And don't just be happy and count your dollars.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
I'm just going to introduce Robert Glazer really quickly here. He's actually an award-winning affiliate manager, and the reason why he's here is because he manages the One Kings Lane program, which also does daily deals with a focus on home decor and such. So do you guys have any other questions?
Thank you. I'm very sorry. I won't give you all the bad excuses. Following what he just said, there's a simple concept. I joke around. There's a campaign, for the National Drug Council. I think it was like questions or the anti-drug. I really feel like questions in affiliate marketing are the key, and this transparency issue just comes down to not taking something that's too good to be true and just looking the other way. When it's too good to be true, it almost always is. So if there's this affiliate who's converting at 10% and you don't know what they're doing, ask questions. You'll get ridiculous answers a lot of times, and they won't make sense, and people will spend pages writing an answer back that doesn't actually tell you anything. But asking really simple questions about, hey, how are you doing this? We are at X site, we sell this, we can't figure out what you're doing. There's not enough of that. I think people because this industry is often too focused on revenue, there's an incentive to kind of hold your nose and look the other way when stuff is going on. And all these technologies and brand verity and all this stuff, it's really good for figuring out how someone's cheating you, but it's not hard to figure out that someone's cheating if you're just watching your affiliates and seeing a guy in his second day have 450 sales from a site. The tools help you figure out what it is, but it's not, if you're watching your affiliates' behavior carefully, it's not hard to figure out when something's not right.
Yeah, I think it's the same way. I mean, Carrie mentioned earlier that whenever she receives a deal, she likes to be able to vet it. Well, the same amount of time that she spends verifying whether or not our deals are credible and our retail experience is credible, it's the same amount of time that an affiliate manager should be looking at all of their partners and making sure the traffic is credible as well.
Hello, Carol. Marcio from Brazil. Nice to meet you. As we talked about Brazil, I'm from Buscapé. Buscapé has Save Me. Save Me is like a comparison shop of daily deals, and we have a great, good new with the daily deal sites in Brazil, because they brought to us the culture of coupons we didn't have before. The daily deals websites is a very good thing, and two affiliate platforms. I'm from Loma Digital affiliate platform, and this was good. And in the transaction of 11 by 12.9 now, lots of sites in Brazil completely failed, and we had a change in a profile of sites that started the operation offering service, and now we have the biggest part of sites working just with products with discounts.
Right.
I think that it's a change in landscape in Brazil. And I have a question about if you have some information about daily deal sites working with geolocalization and in mobile, offering, for example, offers based in geolocalization in mobile apps or mobile applications for daily deal sites. Thank you.
You want to start with that, or?
So if I understand that question correctly, are you asking for retailers that have deals for mobile affiliates, or?
I think he's just asking about, in terms of mobile traffic, how, if there are deals, Groupon, Living Chill, so, whatever that they can promote, where people can convert based on, where they are locally right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For example, Foursquare has a geolocalization, but they almost don't use the offers, the deals in her app. For example, one Foursquare with deals offering with discounts based on your geolocalization. If here in USA there are similar services offering this kind of products.
We're definitely, I can only speak from a Groupon point of view. I'm sure that the direction that we're headed is definitely in that direction. The API that we provide for every single deal that's listed in there, we actually include the latitude and longitude. So it has made it very easy for mobile publishers to pull that content in and do hyperlocal targeting.
I think the biggest difficulty here is a tracking issue, being able to track that the user clicked and then installed the app and then made this purchase. That's, shameless plug. That's something that we're spending a lot of time with right now with our product mobile app tracking. But the point of it is that you can tie an install or you can tie some sort of in-app event back to a publisher's click. And I think, Groupon and many daily deal sites are providing great information to provide to mobile users, and the experience is good there. But if the user is converting, right now the user has to convert in a mobile web experience. Basically, there has to be a cookie dropped. There has to be something like that occurs. But I do believe that you will see in the next 6 months more tracking, from the mobile web and from mobile apps into other apps in general. And therefore, that makes for a very nice platform for sending people into the Groupon app and then getting a percentage of revenue for that, or whatever your payout is. So, really, yeah, it should apply directly. It should be very easy to say, hey, this, I've got a mobile user and they want a daily deal, and Groupon's already able to tell me that these are the deals that are available to them, but right now you're going to need to send that user to the mobile web. But this is certainly a burgeoning place for tracking in general, and keep your eyes out for it.
One thing I'll say from a user perspective, so I'm not from New York, but I've been using the TripAdvisor app like my whole time here. If you're not using it, it's really cool. But because we've been able to vet restaurants, right? It's, geolocate, and it'll tell me which restaurants are in the neighborhood, and then I can pick by price range, and then I can see the reviews. And the whole time I've been looking at this app, so one of you should go build this. I've been thinking, why can't I also see if any of these places have a coupon or a deal or whatever? Because that would push me over the edge, right? I'm looking already at these reviews, and they're all kind of 6 and 1/2 dozen of the other, but if any of them had a daily deal, it would get me in the door of the restaurant. My point being two things. One, I mean, I think this geolocation stuff, right, is where we're going. But as you're thinking from an affiliate perspective, add value. How can you add value beyond just where somebody is physically located, and tying in reviews and other information that people use to make buying decisions is really, really valuable.
I have one quick question for you. Do you see like tourism style offers really big in Brazil as well? Or is it I mean, you're saying it's mostly products and that sort of thing. Are you also seeing hotels and flights and, you know, that kind of stuff?
We have both.
Okay,
Travel
so that's growing.
Yeah, it's a good segment. We have, for example, with us, TAM. TAM is the biggest air company in Brazil, and they have we with Save Me created a platform to customize daily deal sites.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need, for example, Groupon or other sites. Save Me, it's other business model. It's a comparison shop of daily deals, and we create a platform to customize the service. So, for example, 10 created this service, and all the daily deals coupon sites of 10, it's done in their own platform.
Right.
Created for us, but we have this case, and we have hotels.com in Brazil.
Right.
It's very, very strong.
That was actually the one I was thinking of. So, yeah. I mean, they've done a really good job of showing what, you know, a rate today that's cheap and that you can get right now and that sort of thing. Hotels Tonight in the States is obviously, you know, trying to tackle a similar thing where it's like almost like the daily deal for 10 hotels, you know, where you're at right now. But I was just wondering if that was blowing up down there.
Hi, I have two questions. One is for Peter, the other one is for Carolyn. Peter, you mentioned a term that I'm not familiar with, Google Glass.
Oh.
That is walk by a store and they tell you if you haven't had lunch or that.
It's a brand new project by Google. You go check it out. It's kind of fun right now. There's a couple thousand pairs of these glasses that Google has literally created. That have a camera on it and also have a display to show you things in your peripheral. They also have GPS and all the other features that you're going to have in a smartphone and a pair of glasses, basically. So you could have those lenses fitted with this. And so the idea is that as you're walking around, you can interact with your online self, you know, social media channels and that sort of thing, but also this could interact as you're walking into like a storefront or something like that. So it's a beta project, but they're saying summer of 2013. Is that right? I think that's right. Yeah. So that's when everyone's going to have these things, and you know, goodbye personal life forever. Now they will track everything. No, I'm just kidding.
Everything you look at, yeah.
And the other question is for Carolyn. You mentioned that you can match on geography, time of day, previous behavior. Is that tracking, or
Well, I'll tell you,
how do you guys do it?
I can give you an
Thank you.
example of there was one mobile publisher that I worked with that I was just blown away by. So the idea is that they take advantage of your idle screen on your phone. So your phone could be sitting here, and basically that's a screen, that's a monitor. If you have a monitor, you can be reached and you can be marketed to. What they did was they partnered up with several providers, Cricket, Verizon, a bunch of those. And on certain plans, you could opt into this service, which would send you information that you wanted, local news, gas prices, your horoscope perhaps. And interspersed in that would be marketing messages. So at lunchtime, maybe you would get a coupon that would show up, you know, for the place right around the corner for you to go get lunch. And so they would do those things where it would be very contextual. But I don't think we're there yet. We have half the equation where we can give you a deal based on where you are. The next step that we're going to do is to give you a deal based on exactly what you want. So we know based on your prior purchasing history that you like Italian restaurants. We know that right now it's lunchtime. We know that right now it's lunchtime. You're standing on the street and there's an Italian restaurant, you know, just a couple of storefronts down that's willing to offer you a deal. our goal, I think, is eventually to be able to give you that right at that moment. So it's time relevant, contextually relevant, and geared specifically towards what your tastes are. I think the question is whether or not consumers are going to like that or hate it.
Well, I remember when I first gave, I think Groupon was the first one I gave my email address to, and then it was really cool for a few weeks there, and then I was just, oh my gosh, I don't want to see one of these emails ever again, and they're just, keep coming through, and I don't want a manicure, and and that's what this contextualization is, trying to solve. That's what's really, really important about it. It cuts out as much noise as possible and provides the consumer a really valuable experience, and that's in online advertising in general where people are going to opt in. That's where they're going to find, like, I really do want this item, and so I'm going to get involved with this, and I'm going to let them track me everywhere I go. And some people may be a little bit frightened by Google Glass and things like that, but I think the value prop for the amount of money it's going to save you, the kind of discovery it's going to provide you, and the products you're going to interact with is going to be really high. So therefore, you're willing to give up a little bit of that privacy.
So that's we've come to the end of our session, but we'll be up here in case you do have questions. So thanks very much for coming, and don't forget to fill out those evaluations and say how great this guy was.
Thank you very much, guys.